Aaron Rodgers says the Packers have the talent to play on Super Sunday. I am Jim Basquill. Of course, the Packers had a crushing loss at the hands of the Seahawks, and some say they should have been in the Super Bowl this past Super Sunday. Let's bring in Rob Demovsky, who has this story on ESPN.com. He covers the Green Bay Packers. And Rob, considering how the season ended a season ago, what's the vibe around this team nowadays?
Well, it was interesting, Jim, talking to Rodgers today in a fairly lengthy one-on-one interview. He seems like he's in a good place with this team. He hasn't gone back to even watch the Seattle NFC title game and said he probably won't, which actually isn't that unusual. He said he hasn't even watched their Super Bowl 45 win. The last game of the season, win or lose, he typically puts it behind him. And I think the team has sort of taken on that approach. I mean, really the only time the Seattle loss comes up is when someone like us or some fans ask him about it.
Yeah.
I think this team knows, though, that they're talented enough, and they were within just a couple of minutes of a Super Bowl to get back there again, and that's really their mindset going forward.
Rob, the thought process with regards to the Green Bay Packers is they're always going to be a contender in the NFC and always going to be a contender to get to the Super Bowl as long as Aaron Rodgers is under center. But this team is a little different these days because they've fortified in the last two drafts their defense, specifically that defensive backfield. Do they feel a little bit better about themselves as an entire group nowadays because the defense is kind of right there with the offense?
It's because of that, Jim, although there is still some question marks, but they really like what they did the second half of last season defensively. But I think there's just a greater collective mindset on this team for two things. One, not to get off to a slow start like they have the last couple of years where they were 1-2. And then the second thing is to not let those opportunities that they have, like they had last year, slip away. I think going forward, that's going to be the mantra of this football team. Start fast and finish strong.
But, Rob, if they do get off to a 1-2 start, you know what everybody has to do, right?
RELAX.
That's right. Relax. Aaron Rodgers got this. Rob Demovsky covers the Green Bay Packers for ESPN, and we appreciate the insight.
Thanks, Jim.
You, of course, can read more about this story and keep up with the Green Bay Packers by keeping a lock to the NFL page right here on ESPN.com. I'm Jim Basquill.